This is part 2 of our settings in ThunderPOS.net video. This is going to pick up with where we left off in part 1. So if we take a look here, we're back in our settings screen. And if we go under receipts, we can start with general receipt settings. The repair disclaimer will appear at the bottom of a repair estimate for customers to sign. Credit signature text will appear underneath the signature line for credit card invoices. Whether or not that appears is determined by this checkbox for printing the credit card signature line. Printing the trade-in signature line prints the trade text below that, which you can also customize. And that'll appear again on an invoice that has trade-ins if you have that turned on. Printing gift info on receipt will cause the gift card number and balance to be printed onto any receipt where you have gift card information. Show discounts on receipt will show discounting information about promotions given or about discounts given at the register. That does apply for trade items as well. Print account balance on receipts will print the customer's account balance onto the receipt if they want that. It will only appear if the account balance is not zero. Print rewards information will print the customer's outstanding rewards points onto the receipt. Again, that will also only appear if the rewards points are not zero. The coupon text is text that will appear at the bottom of the receipt, frequently used to offer promotional things. It only appears on certain receipt printers. And then the web register receipt style, you can select between the normal text-based one and then a full professional, which is a PDF meant for an 8.5 by 11 printer. Under general invoice notes, you get 10 lines in which you can put that will appear at the bottom of every receipt, whether emailed or printed. This is a store-wide setting. So this will appear on all of your receipts done either here or through Windows or the iPad. And then for email receipts, you can select your settings here. You can select whether it is automatically emailed upon completing an invoice. You can select whether a copy of the full professional PDF is emailed as well. And you can select to use our email server rather than your own. If you don't want to use our email server, you'll have to put in server credentials and everything. And then you can also choose to include a coupon and to have a link to a website on your emailed receipts. So if you want to do an emailed receipt, then you can have that a little fancier than obviously a printed receipt can necessarily be. Under taxes, you set sales tax rates and a few other options. So first, and most straightforwardly, you've got your sales tax 1, 2, and 3. You've got your description and the rate. Note that it's entered such that if you have a 7% sales tax rate, you enter 7, not 0.07. Make sure you do that correctly, or else you'll charge 1/100th the sales tax you should. There are certain provinces of Canada where you are not supposed to charge sales tax on used items. If you are in one of those places, then just check the no tax on used for the appropriate tax rates. Round up tax will mean it is always rounded up rather than being rounded, based on being at 0.5 or not. Tax trade-ins, if that's turned on, then your trade-ins will deduct from the amount of tax due. That's a setting that should be turned on in some places and not in others. Please consult a local accountant for that. If it's turned off, then only the sales amount is used for calculating taxes. So, for example, this determines whether, if you take if you sell a $20 item and you take a $10 trade, whether you pay sales tax on $10 or $20. And then default tax 1, tax 2, tax 3 for MISC, that's just when you're adding a miscellaneous item to the invoice, whether or not by default they will have tax 1, 2, or 3 respectively turned on. Under pricing, we'll find a number of pricing options. Average cost, new and used. So what those are, if they are turned on, then the cost of items will adjust as you take them in trade for used or as you purchase order them for both new and used. If you have it turned off, then you just have to manually change the cost of any items where you want to change the cost. Average costing means that if, let's say, you have two in stock already at a cost of 10, and you take a third in stock at a cost of 5, then it's going to end up charging or setting the cost to be $8.33. I believe, if I've done my math correctly in my head. Basically 25 total divided by 3. Last price override, that will offer the option when you sell an item to a customer who you have sold it to before and given a special price to. It will prompt you and tell you that you have done that and ask if you want to give them that price again. Use extended prices. Using extended prices means you're going to do complete and incomplete style pricing rather than ABCDE pricing. We'll see options related to both of those down below, but if that being turned on, if that is turned off and you're using ABCDE, then only trade price 1 matters of the fields you can set. You don't need to set trade price 1 and 2 and trade price cash 1 and 2 because those will be percentage based. Trade-in price is for cash rather than store credit. By default, it is for store credit, but if you set it to be for cash, then that price will be what's used for cash. Percent adjustment, if your trade-in price for cash, then it will be a percentage more you'll give for store credit. If it's for store credit, then it's a percentage less you'll give for cash. So the adjustment there depends on what trade price 1 is. All of these are only if you're not using extended prices. Using conditions, you can set A, B, C, D, E descriptions and percentages for both sales and trade-ins. These are percentages off of that base trade-in price 1 or use price 1 for selling. And then finally, complete and incomplete, that's if you're using extended. That's kind of the description of what 1 and 2 mean, but you can change that. It's simply an informational thing. That's going to be the end of part 2 of this series. Come back and we will go over part 3.